Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Uh, one of the things that we've been experiencing uh, the past week is the change in our weather, our breathing, the uh, the attentiveness we need now, right? And hopefully, I'm hoping that the wildfires subside and everybody's safe. Um, and As we move forward into the fall, uh, some of the things that I have for myself and I've carried for a long time in my own practice, in my own remembrances, is something called the five remembrances. And you might be familiar with them or not, but I want to introduce them if you haven't, or even if you have, but I'd like to introduce them to you because they are, um, for me in particular, they're a great reminder that it's never as bad as you think, and that the conditions in this life uh, are what they are, and we will move forward regardless with these conditions. And they're the absolute truth, and truth is a good thing to hang on to. Um, the Dhammapada, this small version, is really great. And I wanted, if you could put your hands in Hapchang, and I'm going to read about on chapter 3, it's called The Mind, if I can see. As the Fletcher whittles and makes straight his arrows, so the master directs his straying thoughts. Like a fish out of water, stranded on the shore, thoughts thrash and quiver, for how can they shake off desire? They tremble, they are unsteady, they wander all over. It is good to control them, it is good to master them, and to do that brings happiness. But how subtle they are, how elusive these thoughts. The task is to quiet them, and by ruling them, to find happiness. With a single mindedness, the master quails his thoughts. She ends her wandering, seated in her cave of the heart. She finds freedom. How can a troubled mind understand the way? If a woman is disturbed, she will never be filled with knowledge. An untroubled mind, no longer seeking to consider what is right and what is wrong, a mind beyond judgments, which is watches and understands. Know that the body is a fragile jar, and make a castle of your mind. In every trial, let understanding fight for you to defend what you have won. For soon the body is discarded. Then what does it feel? A useless log of wood, it lies on the ground. Then what does it know? Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own thoughts unguarded. But once mastered, no one can help you as much, not even your father or your mother. Here ends the reading. And mastering the mind is it's a big challenge, absolutely, for all of us. And the five remembrances is helpful in this. This sounds pessimistic, these 5 remembrances. It sounds pessimistic. But it's the intent is to awaken you, to see things clearly. Okay. And they also sound like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, sure. Right. Well, why do you say these things? And you'll know as I go along what I mean by this. So the first one, I'll start off with the first one is, I am the nature to grow old. There's no escaping growing old. Yeah, of course. You all experience this, right? One of the things that I did this summer was I took a job landscaping. I took a job where I do a lot of physical labor. And one of the things that I said to myself, I said, when I was in the office and I was talking to people, I said to myself, why am I doing this? Like, why? Like, I'm bending over, I'm lifting, I'm hauling, I'm unloading, I'm loading, I'm uncovering, I'm covering, I'm digging, I'm undigging, shovel this, shovel that, rake. My mind and my body was telling me how old I was, and still does. Right? I have numbness now in places I never thought it could happen. Right? My hands are numb, my arms are numb. I roll over sleeping because I can't find the correct position to straighten the spine to stop the numbness. What the hell's going on? I'm growing old. There's no escaping this. My hand is numb right now. It's numb right as I speak. It's numb. And I think it's because of mulching. I'm sure of it. Our culture is very much a young centric, right? We focus on the beauty, the youngness of it all. But there's no way to avoid this aging thing. So I asked myself, why am I doing this? And I tell you why. It's because I can do it. I can do this. I'm at an age that I know that it's getting old. I know it's going to fail. And I know at some point in my life, I won't be able to do it. I went from hospice, working in hospice, to working out into the yards, digging holes. One of the things I said, why? It's because I can. I shovel snow because I can do it. There will be a time where I can't. It is a wonderful thing to know and to experience life like this, even though it drives you nuts. Right? You don't have to be afraid of it. You can embrace it. One of my new things is I have a foot condition now. It makes it hard for me to walk on my left foot. And I go, at times I go to the foot doctor, the podiatrist, and they give me the shot. And underneath the foot, I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't even know that they did these things. And one of the things I've learned, though, is, oh my God, it's going to be so painful. Oh, my practice tells me, experience it. Don't shoot the second arrow into it. In other words, don't make it worse by saying, oh, it's going to be so awful, I can't stand it. experience it and just experience that and call it that. And it still hurts, but it's not unbearable, right? It's an interesting sensation that I glad dissipates, right, over time. All of our growing, we've earned wrinkles, we've earned wonderful things under our eyes. Our sight might get worse, and these things are from living a life. We've had the privilege of doing that. We've earned it. And with growing old, that's the first remembrance. I am of the nature to grow old, and there's no getting around growing old. There's no escape. The second one to remember is I am the nature to become ill. There is no escaping becoming ill, right? And we all have and will become ill. If you're healthy now, guaranteed you're going to become ill. Guaranteed. The thing about illness is that when we're healthy, running around, shopping, getting the important things in life, right? We think we're in some sort of control of the thing, of the gizmo. We're in some sort of control of our world and our environment and where it is and how we express ourselves, and that somehow we're in control of this. And illness will will always show you, yeah, no, you're not. You're not in control of this thing called life. Our ego wants to make that illusion for us, but we're not in control. Things happen for unexpected reasons, for reasons we do not know, nor will we understand. And to search for an understanding might be, well, a circular thought process. You might not get the answer because sometimes things, we don't know why they happen. When illness comes, can I meet it with kindness instead of bitterness? Because it will come. I remember years ago, I had the flu. It was the COVID shot. I had the first COVID shot, and that thing knocked me. Oh my God, it was just terrible. I was on the couch, and I thought I had COVID. Well, I was becoming immune to it because of the vaccine, and I was miserable, right? And it was a really insightful time because I'm like, okay, stop, just, it's here, it's not going anywhere, and it's not going to last because this is the vaccine, right? It's the shot. So I calmed myself down. I said to myself, okay, right? And I wasn't as bitter, and I was still miserable, but I wasn't bitter about being miserable. So when we open our heart to the illness, when we're open to it, right, it teaches us patience with ourselves and patience with others. It teaches us to accept the help when we need it. And I am a person that's very reluctant in that area. My ego gets in the way big time. And so, how can I help you? What do you need? What do I want? Nothing. I can do it. Rawr. Right? So it's a good remember That I am the nature to become old. I can't escape that, and I'm the nature to become ill. The third one is I am the nature to die. There's no escaping death. Yeah, of course. The Buddha didn't talk. The Buddha would have his monks go to the graves. He would have them go and witness the funeral pyres where they were burning the bodies and sit with the corpses. And he didn't do that to make people afraid. Right? He did it to wake them up to this is inevitable. So how are you going to live? So knowing that these moments don't come but in the moment, right? It gives the moment such value because we don't know. If today was my last day, would I spend it holding resentment? Would I spend it worrying about things I cannot change? Or would I tell someone that I love them? Would I sit quietly beneath a tree? Would I notice the beauty of flowers in the sky? Death reminds us that every ordinary day is extraordinary, an extraordinary day, which is really cool. That's something to get up for. Traffic jams are extraordinary. Love them. The fourth is everything and everyone dear to me will change and be separated from me. Everything and everyone will fall away. I remember a man that I had in hospice. He was like 90, 97, 98. And he would tell me, why am I still here? Everybody I know is gone. Everybody I grew up with is gone. I'm the last one. That reminded me of this. He was telling me, it was an interesting story because he was telling me about, he never forgot the car accident he got in with his dad in the Model T. And I was like, wow, that's pretty wild, right? But his dad was driving a Model T, and I think they got a fender bender or something like that. He probably was going about 10 miles an hour, right? But he was asking me, why am I the last? He was ready to move on. He was ready, you know. Nothing in this world can be possessed forever. Our children grow up, our parents grow old, friends move away, relationships change, and even our body will leave us. Genuine love allows things to change because we're not holding on so tight. We're not grasping so tight. One of the things in the Japanese culture is the cherry blossom, and I think in Washington D.C. they have a cherry blossom festival, and it's so wonderful because it doesn't last. It doesn't last. Cherry blossoms bloom, and then you're there, and then they go. And it's a quick phenomenon, right? Cherry blossoms are beautiful because they are not lasting. Short. Golden autumn leaves, beautiful. Until you're raking them the next spring, and they're all brown and crunchy, right? But
It's so beautiful.
yeah, the autumn leaves are beautiful. And our lives are the same. Our lives are beautiful. And they change. Impermanence makes love precious. Impermanence does not diminish love. Which leads us into the most important, I believe, of these remembrances. And it is what you truly own. It's what you own. It is what you leave behind. It is the wake. It is the wave, in other words, that you, when you fall into that water, when you're in that stone and you make a wave, there is something there that you leave, and that is your actions. My actions are my only true belongings. I cannot escape the consequences of my actions. Everything else you leave behind, but the consequences of your actions remain. They influence the world around you. They influence the future. If you um, have the actions of saving and you leave this world, what remains? Everything else eventually we leave behind. Money, titles, recognition, possession, our body. Our actions continue to ripple through the lives of others. Our influences with each other, conversations we've had, um, decisions we've made, tough decisions we've made, what ice cream to eat. Those are tough choices. Kind words will be remembered. A generous act can remind a child long after we're gone, when they're older, of, oh yes, I remember when I was a kid, this is how I soothed myself with my friend, with my brother, with my uncle. These things remain. This is a good one. A tree planted today made shade children we never meet. It's an action. We plant a tree. We have no idea if that tree will last. The conditions are right. Maybe it does. And it shades children from after a big baseball game. Every day we're writing our story of our life, not with ink, but with our choices. This means our karma is not punishment. This is an important thing. Our karma is the things that as a result of cause and conditions, and our choices and because of cause and conditions. Simple cause and effect. So remember the 5 remembrances. Have them close at hand. even if you just carry them in your mind, right? The nature to grow old, the nature to become ill, the nature to die. Everything and everyone that's close to me that I love I'll be separated from them. And my actions are my only true belongings. I cannot escape the consequences of my actions. And this is a way to freedom. This is a way to freedom. We become less concerned with being right. We become less concerned with the worldly because we understand that what's really important here. How am I responding? What wave am I perpetuating, providing this world? Checking our ego. And I have to work on that a lot. Zen practice does not ask us to escape aging, illness, death, or loss. It asks us to awaken in the midst of them. You experience it and you're in the midst of it and you wake up to that. That's it. That's it. So do not waste your precious human life. It's a beautiful thing, even on a really hot day in line somewhere you'd rather not be, I guess. Yeah. So thank you for your time and attention. Appreciate it.
Wonderful talk.